Pipistrel, the long wing glider you saw a little while ago, 912 power, that long wing all of a sudden starts racing.
We are here at Sun and Fun. I'm Dan Johnson, and I'm talking to Rand Balmer about this aircraft he's in and I'm leaning into. This is the Sinus.
And this is the Sinus, is the way we say it over in Slovenia and Italy. Sinus is the way they say it here, but it answers to almost anything.
There's a couple of this is mostly the same aircraft that we've seen here for some time, but there's been some changes you told me about. Bring us up to speed, Rand, on what the newest qualities about the airplane are.
This model actually started back in the mid-90s and was powered by a little Rotex two-stroke. Now it's the Rotex 912 UL, 80 horsepower, and that takes us up to the 120 knot V&E.
On the 80 horsepower?
On 80 horsepower.
Well, I mean, even on the inside here, it's all sleek and smooth. Not the seats I'm talking about, but the construction of the floor under Rand's legs and whatnot. And of course, the outside. We're going to go look at the wing here in a few minutes, but it's sailplane-like qualities, and for a reason, right?
Absolutely. Quality and safety is built into this. From the parachute that we have, not a standard, but everyone that I've sold has been delivered with a parachute.
Great. I'm a big parachute proponent myself.
The cockpit is all Kevlar. The wings and the landing gear are fiberglass, and the rest of the aircraft is carbon fiber. So they're using all the best qualities of each of the composites in order to get the best blend with most safety.
It's quite a factory. I got a chance to visit there last year in Slovenia, where the base factory is. These airplanes in the U.S. for LSA are actually coming out of Italy. Is that correct?
Coming out of Italy. The parts mostly come from Slovenia, but the assembly is done in Italy.
Which is just the way the system can work. In that distance, we flew from the factory in a Virus SW to Italy. Oh, I had to be about 10 minutes of flight?
10 minutes, about 20 miles.
So I suppose it's a 20-minute drive or something, a 30-minute drive, but it's very, very close to the Italian border, so that's how they're working that deal. Rand, is there anything different about the airplane from what we've seen before? And while you're describing any differences that you see, tell us a little bit about what your theory on the panel here that you've got designed.
Okay, I picked a panel that included most of the instruments that come directly from the Alpha Trainer, which is one of our best sellers now for flight schools. So you notice they're mainly analog.
Right.
I added a small dyno in here so I could drive an autopilot.
Okay.
Real nice for cross countries. But this particular panel is easy to read. It takes a little getting used to the scanning, but people love it once they get used to it because these analog dials also have a digital readout in the middle.
Oh, do they? Okay, yeah, I see that they could have
easy
that.
to see.
They're not lit up here right now. We're out in a place where we don't have electric.
Well, I have pulled the battery.
Yeah, that's all right. That's for safety's sake. That's a good thing to do here. But it's a nice layout and everything. What's this big knob in the center do for us?
The knob in the center is our feathering mechanism.
All right.
So we shut the motor when we shut the motor down.
I don't know if the camera caught that, but look out at the prop. Let's watch that when he pulls the handle. Okay, put it back in.
Prop feathers and unfeathers.
All right.
And so the restart takes about 2 seconds.
And why do you have that feature? People may wonder.
That increases our glide ratio by about 3 or 4. Out of a glide ratio of 28, it'd probably be about 23 or 24 if we didn't have the feathering prop.
And the reason for that is because this aircraft is good at doing some soaring flights.
Soaring.
Is that right?
This is a glider. It's a self-launch glider. A touring motor glider, most people would call it. I've flown this model from Oshkosh to Tampa nonstop. That's 1,250 miles.
Is that right?
On 24.
Wow. Let's repeat that. Tampa to Oshkosh nonstop.
Actually, Oshkosh to Tampa nonstop, 9.8 hours. 24.5 gallons of fuel. So it's 53 miles to the gallon and an average ground speed of 125 miles an hour.
Is that right? That's a pretty phenomenal
number.
number.
So we say it's Prius-like economy at twice the speed.
Yeah, right. And when we go out and look at the wing, you'll kind of see why it might be capable of doing that. Anything else in here? Well, a couple of things I'd like you to point out to me. Right here between your legs, you got a little knob down there. What does that do for us?
This is a very lightweight but very effective way to adjust for smaller or taller pilots.
The seats don't move; they're fixed in position.
Seats are fixed, but we can pull.
Oh wow! Look how close those are.
Pull pull them up
that's
close,
quite a range there.
or we can pull them all the way back to there.
You don't have long enough legs to get all
I
over.
don't have long enough legs, but I've had a 6'7" fella.
Is
He's
that right?
a fairly lean 6'7", but he sat in here and he said it's pretty comfortable. So it's pretty amazing.
That is a lot of range of movement, and I see on my side over here, I can see a series of holes. Do they go to a detent position?
There is a detent. You just push until it detents.
Okay, then it locks down in, so you don't have to worry about a friction lock or something.
There's no friction lock. You just release the detent. You can pull them, or you can push them when you just hold pressure on the detent.
I see, okay. And I want to point out, I want to repeat, I should say, another thing. This is an 80 horsepower Rotax, which happens to be my favorite of the 912s because, well, if there's a bulletproof engine, that's probably it. And you don't need any more than that in this aircraft.
And it runs on regular auto fuel with up to 10%.
Not even high
ethanol
test
now.
here. You can use 87 octane.
It's
So,
amazing.
that's another 30 or 40 or 50 cents a gallon savings on top of auto fuel.
Yeah.
So that's a really good thing. Well, one of the key features that we've been reading about in this particular airplane, because this is the Sinus Flex, to use the whole word.
Sinus Flex, exactly.
And that means something happens out at the wingtip. So I think we better go out there and have a look.
Okay, we can do that quickly.
Okay, go. So I've got this thing in my hand here, which doesn't look like an airplane part, but actually is an airplane part. And this is the world's shortest wing with a spar. What's going on here, Ryan?
Okay, what this is why we call it a flex, because right now you're looking at a 50-foot wingspan.
Okay.
This is the sinus configuration.
A 50-foot wingspan on this. We talked about it being a motorglider while Rand was wrenching on that. That's how you get such a good glide performance, is by making a long, slender, clean wing. So that was just basically a few twists of that throttle, or that tool you're trying to eat there.
You got
did that unscrew? Is that what was going on?
There is a spring-loaded hex screw that comes up into the spar. You can see this is spring-loaded right there.
Ah, okay.
Okay. All I had to do was unplug this.
Okay.
I did this
and that's
first.
just for lighting at the tip, so you're
Right.
not affecting any control mechanism.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Okay. And then the aircraft is designed so that we can change out.
And again, here's the flexible screw. And this is just a guide pin to help you get it right in the right slot, is it?
Sometimes I'm quick with this, sometimes it takes a little longer, but it's...
You got to kind of
it's
joggle
easy.
into position.
It's got to be exactly lined up.
So we've shortened the wing. We're getting ready to take it off now, but we've shortened the wing by
About 4.5 feet.
4.5 feet.
Yeah.
On each side, of course, so that's a total of about 8, 9 feet
Yes.
less. So now you're down to a 42-foot span or something,
Right,
which
exactly.
means it'll fit in a lot of hangars.
It'll fit in almost any T-hanger.
And does it fly a little differently with the short wing?
The roll rate's a little faster, the sink is a little faster. You go from a 28-to-1 glide ratio down to about a 24-to-1 glide ratio.
Okay, so that's about 4 points off the glide,
Right.
which is still
pretty
even
decent.
so, it's mighty good. So let's pull this off and let's see you get the other
we
one back
get we get about 4 to 5 knots increased cruise speed.
Oh,
The
and
cruise
4
speed
okay.
with this one is actually 115 knots.
So you're trading 4 points of glide for 4 knots of speed. That's a pretty good deal. And I see this all looks like carbon fiber elements in here.
Most of it's carbon fiber, but a lot of the skin and the spar is actually fiberglass for flexibility.
Oh, it is, okay.
It helps take a lot of the shock of the thermals. So it actually is very smooth riding aircraft.
Okay, so maybe it's just the joiner part out here that's carbon, is it?
I believe it is. On the inboard side, it is.
Okay, so now what we're doing now is we're putting the longer wing back in, taking us back to a 50-foot span while we're in the and there it goes back in. Snaps into position, puts out his handy-dandy tool, inserts it down here at the bottom of an opening. And you can feel you're threading it up because you can get a resistance
And
to
you
it.
can feel the top, it's all the way
Oh
up.
yeah, okay, that's that spring-loaded part up there that I'm feeling.
And the only checks that we need is make sure that it is snug, that this is here, and that there's no friction with the flapper on it.
Well, that takes all of, about 60 seconds, it looks like.
We can change the wingtips out from short to long or long to short in 5 minutes.
Wow.
On both,
Yeah, you
both
got to do
wings.
both sides,
Yeah.
and you want to be careful so you don't just rush through it. Well, that's great. So with the long wing, I don't see how that could fit inside, and I guess that doesn't fit inside the aircraft.
We cannot carry the long wingtips in the aircraft.
But you could go cross country with this one. That's a pretty small
fit
package.
easily into the baggage compartment. Both
Okay.
of them, Yes.
So what does this do for a dealer?
But for dealer, it's really nice because you can show 2 aircraft. You show the Virus, which is our 40-foot touring motor glider, or our Sinus, our 50-foot soaring motor glider, And with the panel that I've got in here, I can talk to people about the Alpha Trainer, because other than the wings, the Alpha Trainer is very much like this one is configured.
Excellent. And it's a lot of great information about the beautiful Sinus from Pipistrel aircraft in Slovenia and Italy. Where can we find out even more information about you and the aircraft?
Okay, our website is www.pipistrel-usa.com. That's Pipistrel, Pipistrel-USA.com.
And Pipistrel, for those that wonder where on earth they came up with that name, I believe is bat.
It is
Slovenian language. Is
in
that
the
right?
Italian version, which is very close there to Slovenia, it means bat.
All right. I've got lots of information about the Pipistrel airplanes and many other light aircraft on bydanjohnson.com or bydanjohnson.com.